I call you for that, because the lady she called me like 2 minutes ago.
Okay.
Okay, boss.
All right, bye. Hello, everybody. This is Paul Romero with the Wholesale Real Estate Investing number 230 here by SAHA on this, what is this, Wisdom Wednesday, March 2nd, 2016. Doing a little real estate business there on the phone. On the phone with our guy. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome wholesalers. Welcome wannabe wholesalers. Welcome noodlers, our own team here. A really interesting show here today. We got Mr. Johnny on the spot. You just got to wing it, John, on the line, and we're gonna have some fun this morning. So welcome everybody. And speaking of on the phone and having fun, there you go.
Hey, Marshall.
So I just want to say again, welcome to everybody to the show. What we were planning on doing today, I'm not sure if that's still what John's plan is or not, is to just pick up the phone and make a phone call and let you guys sit down and listen. It's going to be pretty interesting if that's where we go with this. So I was just on the call with a guy. I was out looking at one of the properties that we got under contract that we're looking at taking down and keeping for ourselves as an income property. And some people were milling around looking at it or whatnot, and they want to buy the property. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe if they want to offer something stupid, ridiculous, but we have a little tricky, sticky wicket with that deal because the owner wants to remain as an equity share partner in the deal. So that's sort of scaring people away. We had 5 investors on that property that were interested in buying the property, but they all just wanted to flat out buy the property, make her leave probably. And we were the only ones willing to do something creative and basically enter into a partnership with her. So that's kind of what happened there with that phone call. Very interesting stuff that somebody's after that looking at things, and who knows what the heck. I don't know, I have to call somebody and figure out what that's all about. So today is, like I said, Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome again. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Paul Romero with Sell a House, Arizona. SAHA, also we are known as. And it's going to be a good week this week. We got a lot of deals closing. Really excited. We got a new office that we're moving into. We got a new attorney firm that we're getting signed up with. We got new entities to be formed. We got partnerships being put together. We got a lot of things happening in the real estate business and our real estate business, and that's what's going to happen for you. You start out, whether you start out in our property noodler system or you start out doing something on your own, which I would strongly advise against. Been there, done that. Not easy. I mean, realistically, it took us three and a half years to really get this thing off the ground and moving forward and making serious money with it. I mean, unless you just want to do it as a hobby, flip a house or 2 a year, something like that, house or 2 or 3 a year, wholesale a deal, 1 or 2 or 3 a year, something like that to boost your income. You could make anywhere from, realistically, if you did 3 houses, depending on where you live, what you find, et cetera, and so on. You could make anywhere from seriously like $4,500 up to as much as $45,000. Who knows? On one deal. It's possible. Those deals are out there. You can make big money on deals. It doesn't happen all the time. The average wholesale deal goes for about $7,000. So figure on average you're going to make, if you did 3 deals a year, you're going to boost your income by $21,000. Hey, that's not bad. There's a lot of people in this country that are living their entire annual income is less than $21,000. So you could definitely increase your standard of living a little bit with an extra $21,000 this year. Or next year or the year after, whatever. But when you work with a team, when you get involved with a team, obviously when you're starting out, you don't know anything, you're new, you know, you've got there's a lot involved with wholesale real estate, and that is why here we are, like I said, 4 years into this business, and we're, you know, restructuring entities, and like I said, signing up new attorneys, and, you know, getting a new office space, and doing all these different things, because, you know, the business evolves, it turns into something different, and you got to keep continuing to move forward with all that. You got to be able to take, you got to be ready and willing to take in all the new information that you can get, soak it all up, build and grow, build and grow, build and grow, and eventually wow, eventually sneeze, and that was a slow mover. Sorry about that. But, you know, eventually get the business to where you want it to go. Yes, some people do, I say, get lucky and go out there and throw deals together, you know, almost right out of the gate, start making money, doing that sort of thing. But for most people, they find there's a lot of elements to wholesale real estate that they didn't anticipate, that you know, run them off, or at least you know, put up big roadblocks in their progression to success that they have to overcome. And so it's a lot slower for a lot of people. And I'll be honest with you, it was slow for us probably because of a lot of those different roadblocks. But anyway, John is back. Obviously had a phone call to go take, and thinking here this morning we're going to have a phone call we're going to make. Is that what we're thinking about here, Mr. Gianni? What did I say earlier? I don't know, whatever.
That is absolutely correct. Here's the deal. I was actually hoping that that last call that came in was maybe was lucky enough to be a seller. So my thought, shoot, damn it. Okay, my thought here this morning was I've got a follow-up phone call I need to make today with somebody that I checked out a property yesterday. I want to get into that call, but I did promise we'd do a cold call, you know, totally cold call. So I've got a few of those in mind. Now, Paul and I know, like, sometimes the phone numbers that we have aren't correct phone numbers. There's no guarantee that these people are going to answer the phone. These are totally cold calls. I'm going to go ahead and try a few. And if we don't get through after a couple of those, maybe I'll do a follow-up call where I'm pretty confident the guy will answer the phone this morning. So at least we have some sort of a conversation going.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. So this first one that I'm calling, Paul may remember this property. We've been tracking this lead since about, let's see, March of 2015.
So for a year.
Almost a year. And this is a condo, I believe, a condo in Scottsdale, Arizona at 76th Street and Camelback. It's being foreclosed on for unpaid HOA, and this thing's about to be sold. Just found out yesterday that this thing is scheduled to be sold off at a sheriff's sales auction on March 17th. So this one is going bye-bye here. And we've tried to get in touch with this person in the past and kind of put it on our watch list because they weren't being cooperative and, responding to us. And now it's back to the point where, hey, shit or get off the pot because you're going to lose this property. So I thought we'd try that phone call here this morning.
Yes, I do recognize that one. I can't think of the name. I want to say like a Susan or something like that.
It's a gal named Diana, and she lives over in New York on Long Island by my parents' house. So if we don't get through on the phone here, what we'll probably end up doing is trying to convince one of my brothers to see if they want to make $1,000 here and go knock on that door. So
there you go. All right,
so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to dial the number. And I'm going to I'm going to start the conversation. But when I say the property address, I'm going to go ahead and mute the phone. You know what I'm saying? Mute the hangout. So let's dial her up. Let's see if we can make this work. Her name is Diane. She's in foreclosure. So I know we had a working phone number for her at one point. Stream. Interesting. Interesting. That was definitely the last time I tried getting in touch with her was February 2nd, and that was a working number on February 2nd.
Did you maybe dial it wrong?
Let me double check that again. No, I did not. All right. Her brother's son is not responding anymore. Now, she has a brother named Adam. I'm going to try to call Adam.
Is he in New York too?
And he's in, let me read through this. He's in San Francisco. So let's see if this works out. We'll call Adam in San Francisco, the owner's brother. Okay, let's see if he answers the phone. It's a working number. Come on, baby.
Acupuncture. Please leave a message at the tone. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, got a voicemail. That was real quiet. Yeah, my ringer's already up. Got a voicemail. I didn't leave one right now because this is, when you're dealing with a relative of somebody, and I know that this woman that we're looking for in New York was definitely alive and well, mother in San Francisco. I'd rather just try to get this guy on the phone than leave a message because he might hear the message and be like, what? I don't have anything to do with that property. I'm not calling him back. They need to talk to my sister. You know what I mean? This is a call I really need to get on the phone with this guy. So I could try him again later. Now,
and they might have caller ID and see the phone number and remember it. And the next time you call, just go, oh, that's that guy again, and not want to answer the phone ever again.
Not want to answer the phone. Exactly. It's a little different when you're calling relatives of people as opposed to calling the person direct. So I would screen share, except I'm using some proprietary software here. And I'm going to bring up another lead, which I thought would be a good one to call. Let me call this John. Boom. All right. So, lead owner. Let's do this. All right. So, I'm just going to pick a random lead that looks good. This guy, he owns a property over that's the water's off. Is it a vacation home? It's furnished, but the water's turned off, all that. They live in a town up in North Arizona, so it's likely they're not here. Let's call this guy up and see if we can get him on the phone and see if he's interested in selling the property. Like I said, this is either going to work out or we're going to look like asses, but that's okay.
This was just a vacant, nothing special going on with it?
Nothing special, just a vacant property. We got a working phone number. That's good. This is a new one to the list, so we haven't tried getting through to this guy yet.
Hello, this is John.
Hi, John. This is John Leister from Phoenix, Arizona.
Hi, John.
How you doing this morning? I was giving you a call. I work with a real estate company, and one of our guys came across a property he thought might be vacant. Receiving an offer to sell that property?
No, not yet. It belongs to my parents' trust.
Oh, okay.
And it's not vacant. But someday I'm sure we're gonna the trust will sell it, but it's not on the block yet. So.
All right. Well, if you don't mind, is it okay if maybe I follow up with you in maybe a month or two, or is that the time frame you're thinking you might be ready to sell?
Oh, yeah, it would be a couple months, I think.
All right. You know what? I apologize. I must have had bad information. So it is occupied right now, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Is it in, just so I get an idea when I call you back in a couple months, can you give me how many bedrooms and baths are in there?
Well, right now it's 3 bedrooms.
Oh, cool.
2 baths.
And good condition overall?
Oh, I'd say fair.
Fair. So it may need some upgrading and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's they've lived in it since 1958. So.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So I see I called the Tucson number. You're down in Tucson then?
Yes.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, I love going down there to visit now and again.
Yeah.
So, all right, John, that's good. That's good. So it's okay. Maybe I'll give you a call in maybe about 4 months, 3-4 months, and see where you're at.
That'd be fine.
All right.
Talk to you then.
All right. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Bye, John.
Bye. Simple as that. Put him on the back burner. He wants to sell in a couple months. House has been lived in and not upgraded since 1958. Apparently there is someone living there now. But like I said, what interested me about it is when the driver reported it to me, what made them think it was vacant is that the water was off. So didn't get into that. What I did get from that phone call here is that's a good one to follow up with. He said eventually the trust is going to sell it. And what's interesting to me is he said it's in fair condition, and it has been really it hasn't been upgraded since 1958, and it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's enough information to make me go, I'm interested, and I'm going to be following up with him in about 3 months. And was he not friendly? Did he get mad at me from a complete cold call? No. You notice I kind of stumble and I babble over my words a little bit. It's a little bit intentional because I don't want to sound like a sales professional. I just want to sound like, hey, I'd be interested in buying you, interested in an offer. So I'm going to throw it back to Paul. He could tell you what I did right and maybe something I did wrong. And let's role play it and let's talk about what happened there and get Paul's opinion on that call. And again, I wanted to keep the call under 3 minutes, especially since he's not ready to sell right now. Someone's living in there, but eventually the trust is going to sell. And that gave me enough information to know, hey, we've got a friendly guy. I'm going to put him on a follow-up, and we've got the right phone number.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything wrong with the call at all. I just, you were just, real nonchalant, real friendly, real, got straight to the point about, what the call was about. Didn't dilly-dally around too much. And then, I saw where you had at one point in time tried to sort of engage some random conversation, which he didn't really jump on board with. So, obviously, okay, great, threw that out there. Maybe get the guy to open up, throw a little comment of some sort, maybe, pull the conversation away from the real estate for just a moment, which is always a cool thing to do, and sort of create a little bit of a bonding between you and the seller, and then come back to the real estate. But like I said, he didn't really bite on that too hard. So just got right back into the real estate. That was towards the end of the call, and just pretty much put an end to it. So like I said, I didn't really see anything wrong with the call at all. It went very well. Like I said, the guy was open and open to the call and willing to give a little bit of information.
Right. And, believe it or not, that's enough information for me and Paul to put this one in our follow-ups because, I think 3 important things happened there that people need to realize. I started the phone call and I said, hi, this is John from Phoenix, Arizona. And I paused, and you notice he didn't say anything for like 2 or 3 seconds. Those 2 or 3 seconds, honestly, when you first start doing this business and you start making calls to people, that could feel like an eternity. It still does sometimes because it's almost an awkward silence. But I want to just leave it at that because his mind starts thinking, oh, John from Phoenix. Okay, well, who's John from Phoenix? I mean, this all happens in a matter of 2 seconds. But for him and for me, that 2-3 seconds of silence on that call feels like a long time. It does when you're making that phone call. You just have to bite your tongue. You see, if it was bite my tongue there to give you that sense. But bite your tongue, let them respond. You know what I mean? Just let them respond to it. And then I, immediately was like, oh, I knew he was John. He answered the phone, John. Got right into the real estate. And I kind of said, hey, it's one of my guys. I'm with a real estate company. One of my guys was, came across a property he believes might be vacant. And I apologize if I'm wrong because there were some things in the notes that I'm not 100% sure from these notes that this is vacant. What I do know is that seller lives in Tucson. That's 2 hours away from Phoenix. So maybe he's using it as a rental. Who knows? So he's an absentee owner. So I'm still interested in giving him a call, seeing what's up. So the important thing happened is that the general overall tone of the entire, it was 2 minutes and 45 seconds. The overall general tone of that phone call was friendly. And that's always a good thing. and it was open, and we left the call with the invite to go ahead, give him a call back. And I said, can I give you a call back in a month or so? He said, I won't be ready for several months. Can I give you a call back in 3 or 4 months? I'm asking them for permission to come into their home. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I didn't just say, oh, great, it's over, blah, blah, blah. He knows I'm going to be calling him back. He expressed that that was okay. And another piece of information that I got is that, yes, it's in a trust right now. It's not actually vacant, but in the future, the trust is going to want to sell the property. So far, let's just recap quickly. The two things is I kind of established a friendly rapport relatively quickly, and the general tone, as you guys heard, was friendly throughout the call. I'm so happy someone answered the phone and we got a conversation going. That's awesome. Number two, there is an interest in selling, but now's not the time. And Paul always says every seller wants to sell with time and circumstance. So he goes on a follow-up list. And 3, I've got enough information about the house that when I call back, we can begin a negotiation, because we know that it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Sometimes that information is not provided on Zillow, and we got to kind of guess. I can easily get the square footage, and I didn't want to start digging into all the details with them. I wanted to keep it short, friendly, with the invite to do future business. And he said it's in fair condition. Paul and I both know fair condition means could be trashed or it could be clean. And as he said, his parents lived in the house since 1958, which means they may have taken care of it. But we're looking at, no matter what's going on over there, you're looking at a full update rehab on the kitchens and the bathrooms, because he said they've been living in there since 1958. I know that's code word for it hasn't been upgraded since 1958. So we know enough about the property that we can go ahead and have an offer prepared for when we do call them back in 3 months. Paul.
You know what? There was another little piece in there, a little behind the scenes piece. I think you could read into that. Like you said, his parents lived there since 1958, which made it sound to me like they are no longer living there, that someone else might be living there, and that, his parents are, either with him or, in a care facility or possibly passed away, the fact that it's in their trust, et cetera, and so on. But it sounds as though, to me, that his parents are not living in that property, which if they were, I doubt that he'd be looking to sell within the next couple of months. So the fact that his parents no longer are in that property, but that also too kind of tells me that, okay, since 1958, guess what? This guy grew up in that house too. There's an emotional attachment back of this property somewhere with somebody, his brothers and sisters, et cetera, and so on. We don't know anything about all that. And there's a whole lot of stuff you can pull out of this little conversation right here in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yeah, they lived, past tense. So I'm assuming that the people are deceased. So 1958 too. I mean, if they bought the house when they were, in their 30s, that's what, 68, 78, 88, 98, 08. We're going into 2016. That's almost 60 years ago. Assuming they even bought it at the age of 20, these people are somewhere between the ages of 80 and 90 years old. So the chances that they're deceased or incapacitated, we know is high. Now I'm going to go back to what I knew going into this phone call, Paul. And, this is cool that we did this, because Paul has no idea. He's not in the CRM. He's not looking at this lead whatsoever. And he just is deducing from the phone call. And I'll go ahead and give you the information that I do have is that, let's see here, the write-up. I was just looking at it. Where the hell did it go? Oh, yeah. The property is in the name of John J. Jr. and Elizabeth Blank Trust. I don't want to give the last name out here or the address. John J. Jr. Elizabeth Blank Trust. John Jr. is confirmed by our secretary, our research gal, that he actually is deceased. And who I just was on the phone with is the son, John III. I don't know that she was able to confirm that Elizabeth passed away. We don't do too much digging initially. The information we got, the notes I had from the driver is that the power was, the water's off, but the power's on. but there is a car with current tags in the garage, and they could see in, and it looked fully furnished. And they were questioning that. To them, it looked like it could be seasonally occupied or a vacation home. Did a quick little research. Okay, who's showing living there? And it actually is showing that the mailing address and the tax bill is going to a property over in Vail, Arizona. So we knew, we knew that the successor trustee lives over in Vail. The successor trustee happens to be John Rabeski. So we basically confirmed that we've got good information, and Paul was able to do some of this information out of that phone call without even me having to review the information in that lead. And you see how much that's the goal of your 3-minute initial phone call, is to kind of get as much information as you can. And I don't know, was there anything I left out, Paul? Any questions you feel I should have asked about this property to get an idea of what's going on over here?
Absolutely not, because of those little pieces that I gleaned out of that conversation that I was talking about, the fact that, the parents probably aren't the ones living there, that somebody else is probably living in that house at this point in time, in that they could potentially, that this guy, they bought the house in 1958. This guy and his brothers and sisters grew up in this house. Like I said, that emotional attachment piece could be there. And with that, you'd never want to push these people at all. That's where you went with that conversation, and how much information you gathered out of it. I think one more question might have been too much. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like you got just like the right amount of information out of him, just enough to be able to add information into our lead, very pertinent and important information into our lead, put this guy in a follow-up, and in a couple of, like you said, 3 or 4 months down the road, hey, John, this is John again. How you doing? Hey, I was just calling you back. You said it would be okay if I gave you a call back regarding that house over on yada, yada, yada street. And you said that you guys may be interested in looking into selling in a few months. I just wanted to follow up with you, see if that thoughts come to the top of the plate. Yeah, the top of the list yet, or if you want to, have me call you back again in another 3 more months. I mean, and that's it. And just being there, and all you want to do right now is just be there for this person. Let them be the one that put yourself in a position to where when the selling the property hits the top of the priority list, first person they think of is, that guy John has called me about 3 or 4 times on this property. Where's his number at? Let me give him a call and see what he's all about. That's all you want to do here. So we don't want to be pushing these people in this situation. Now, there's other situations that, with properties and deals and leads that we deal with where, yeah, we do want to push people. We want to be, you need to be right, kind of, letting them know what the urgency is. But in these particular cases like this, where there really isn't an urgency here, there's no pressing matter forcing these people to sell. This is just a property that obviously it's in the trust. The parents have passed away. They've been holding on to it, but it's obviously for whatever reason, however, what the time frame here is, they're getting to that point where it's, what are we doing with this house kind of thing. And that's kind of the mindset that these people are approaching now. So, a few comments in the phone calls in the future about, hey, maybe, who knows, maybe we send somebody by the house again. We notice the car's gone now. It doesn't look like anybody's living there. Hey, John, looks like nobody's in that house anymore now. Just things like that. Just keep poking along. Just keep giving them a little tap on the side and pushing them on down the road, just one little step at a time. And eventually, like I said, be the person who he thinks of first when the time comes.
Exactly. I want to throw in something else. I kind of just went into that conversation not really knowing even what this property, is this a good property? What is this property? I just saw that, hey, this is a new lead that came into me. Figured I would give him a call, and I could, when you get quick like me, I could, if he was interested in selling and wanted some information right now, I could have brought up what I brought up here during this conversation and carried on freely. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, so I was able to confirm that. But I always ask that also just to get a conversation going. And sometimes, you know, if you use a Zillow or a Redfin or Trulia, it doesn't always let you know how many bedrooms, how many baths.
An interesting response he gave on that, though, when you said, you know, is it how many bedrooms?
Thank you.
Is it 3-bedroom, 2-bath? And he says, at this time.
At this time, you know what that at this time told me? Okay, I wish I brought this up before I opened up the information so you don't think I'm full of shit. At this time, I'm thinking, at this time, okay, I'm not going to ask him square footage. I could find that out very easily. I'm thinking it was probably maybe a 4-bedroom at one time or something like that was my mind. At this time it's a 3-2. It's like, well, what was it in the past? Actually, that's one question that could have got a conversation started, Paul. I should have said to him, well, what do you mean at this time? Was it different one time before? I picked up on that. I could have responded.
That's, you know what, that's the ticket right there. That's the key element to go to on the next phone call. You know what I mean? So if you put that in the note, I think it's probably even better. You put that in the note, and on the next phone call, now you got something to refer back to, and maybe get that call going along. Hey, you know what, John? I just recall that on our last phone call, you made an I don't know, it seemed kind of a little bit of an odd comment when I asked you about the property, and you said it was 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and you said it was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath at this time. Was it something else before? I was a little confused by that answer you gave me. You know.
Well, looking up, it's 1,900 square feet. It's I know this area of town. It's in Arcadia. Wow, if we get this deal, cha-ching, cha-ching, chalabing. It's on a third of an acre in Arcadia, and it's easily, that square footage in that neighborhood is easier a $520,000 to $650,000 home right there that hasn't been updated since 1958, which is, you know, this is a guy you need to follow up with. This guy. This is a guy that when he goes to sell this property, he could very well list it with a retailer, a realtor, and a retail buyer will buy a property in this part of town that hasn't been up with that square footage on that size lot that hasn't been updated in almost 50 years. Someone will buy this. I'm competing with retail buyers on this one. You know that, Paul. You know that.
Yep.
But right now I'm in, and I have an invite back. So really, the fortune, I'm going to wrap up today's hangout with my final thoughts, toss it back over to you, is the fortune here and the point of today's call, which is a good one, is we're not doing business today. That's another reason why I didn't push too much on the phone. I know enough with the situation. The parents live there. It's in a trust. It's not actually vacant at this time, though. It's run down. It's in fair condition. Hasn't been upgraded since 58, and they are going to be wanting to sell it because they're looking at the fact now that this is a rundown house. They probably know that it's worth a couple $100,000, and they're probably just getting ready to move out cousin Johnny or whoever the hell's living there, which is information I'll get on the next phone call, as well as Paul said it right there. That's a good intro to the next phone call. Is you made a strange comment, John, last time about it is currently a 3. What was it before? You know, but the fortune is in the follow-up. You're not going to get every deal on the first time, especially a complete cold call off of a potentially vacant property in a high-end part of town. You got to follow up. And, you know, in 3 months, maybe I do the follow-up call. We know he's available at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. We'll do the follow-up here live, and we'll set it for 2.5 months. I'll set a reminder, and then 2.5 months, we'll follow up with this guy and see if we don't get a deal on that day or get a step closer to a deal. So I thought that went well. I'm glad we got someone on the phone that was open, friendly, wanting to sell at a point in the future, got enough information to go ahead and make an informed offer on that property sight unseen, get the ball rolling, and I thought it went well, so that's awesome. And I'm going to toss it back over to you, Paul. We're 5 minutes over time, and you can close us out.
I think it was a great call because it was relaxed and friendly. There was no, and like you said, stumbling on words was almost like part of the plan. No big deal there. Just pointing out to the folks that might be new at this that, you know what, you might think you're sounding like an idiot, but that's okay. It really is. And like I said, gathering gathering some information, and the important, really important piece is, you know, the final word that you threw in there, that the fortune is in the follow-up, because you will not get every deal on the first phone call. In fact, you will get very few deals on the first phone call. That's what this business is all about. It's all about follow-up. So with that, everybody, oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom, with which to make better use of the riches given to me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire, and that being picking up the phone, making phone calls, and landing deals. All right, everybody, have a great couple of days here. We'll see you back here on Wisdom Wednesday, Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday. This is Wisdom Wednesday, and we'll have another awesome